Welcome back to Trove One Kids. Let me introduce you to the newest animal on the place first. This is Oreo, the Nigerian dwarf goat. She's a little skittish. We're still getting her used to people. And she's, I don't remember how old. She's not very old. She's still pretty little. But today, we are going to build a Bluebird house out of some rough sawn cedar. Should be an easy little project. About anybody could do this. And we're gonna build one today. So, enjoy the show. Alright, so if you're gonna build a Bluebird house, your goal on your sides is somewhere between 4 and 6 inches wide each direction and about 9 to 12 inches tall. At least that's what I learned from the little bit of research I did on this. So we're gonna take these boards over to the miter saw, cut some angles, cut our walls, cut our floor, cut our ceiling, and then we'll come back over here and get it assembled. Alright, we're over here at the miter saw. So this is a miter saw. Nice thing about miter saws is it's really easy. You got all these settings on here where you can set different angles. So I think I'm going to go for a 25-degree angle for our roof. So I'm going to cut out our side pieces here first. Out of this board, this is about 5 inches wide. This is rough sawn cedar. It's second grade, so it's lower quality wood. It's got lots of knots and not great spots in it. But it's going to work perfect for building a birdhouse. So we're going to cut our sides out, then we'll cut our other sides out of this board, and then we'll cut our top out of the wider board. All right, we're going to square this off and get rid of this really rough edge right here that's not really any good. It might help if we plug our saw in. Let's try this again. All right, hold it still. Go up a little bit. All right. Now we're gonna go down, make a mark about 12 inches. And that's gonna be the tall side. And we're gonna set this on 25 degrees. All right, hold it again there. Up a little more. There we go. All right, there's one side. Now then, we've got two pretty close to matching sides. All good? Okay, we now need to do our other two sides. This one's going to be 12 inches, and our short side's going to be 9 5/8. And we need to match this angle. We're going to take our saw. We're going to lean it over this way to 25 degrees so that we can match this angle. All right. Now those match up with the angles?
Yep. Yes. Yes.
That's exactly what we want. All right, now the other side, we can use this angle and just cut it straight. Hopefully that matches. Hey, you stole my boards. That one, what did I measure that at? Evidently not. Evidently did not measure that. Correct.
This
9
look
5/8.
crap.
No, I did 9 and like 7/8. Whoops. Gotta measure twice and cut once, except in my case, measure once and cut thrice. Alright, we're going to go ahead and assemble this because it's going to make it easier to get our measurements for our bottom and our top. So we're going to take these two boards, and this is going to go right on top, line up our angles. These being rough sawn, I don't know if you can tell, but the thickness of these boards is variable. This is thicker than this side, so some things aren't going to be perfectly square, but that's just kind of the nature of working with this old style rough sawn lumber. So line our stuff up here as best we can. It's okay if it's not perfect because some little air gaps in a birdhouse is kind of good anyway. Now we're going to drill pilot holes. Cedar is super prone to crack, so we're going to drill pilot holes for all our screws. And that'll just help keep it from cracking. We're going to use some little finish screws here. These have a real small head on them, and that'll help keep the wood from splitting too.
More what?
Alright, now we'll put the back on.
The back? That's tiny.
Bluebirds aren't very big. Alright, there's our basic box.
Is this gonna be the door?
Alright, get a rough measurement here. It's definitely not square. You can see when you look at it like this, the variance, how wide this is and what's wider up here, and these vary, so it makes for not the squarest, but I don't think the bluebirds will care because it'll probably make them think it's more like a hollow tree or something. Alright, 3 3/4, 3 3/4 by 5 1/16. 3 3/4 by 5 1/16. Probably not. Alrighty. Now we're going to use this same board we used on the sides because this should be, where'd my pencil go? Should be right there. It is. This should be the 5 1/16 already, so we just need 3 3/4. Might be a hair long. We'll find out. All right, this might be a hair long. Let's see if it's gonna fit. I think I can squeeze it. Maybe. It's slightly out of square, so that's not helping things. May have to trim a little bit off the.
That's not going to.
Have to trim a little off the side just because it's not perfectly square, being rough sawn. All right, let's trim a little off this other side. All right, see if our trimming helped enough. Don't even need any screws to hold it in. That ought to hold it. Alright, now I need to figure out the top. I forgot my measuring tape over there. Alright, we need a minimum of 7, but we'll make this a little bit longer, so probably 9. Nah, we'll go like 10 inches for our top piece.
10 inches?
Alright, before we put the top on, we're going to drill our hole for the bird to go in. They want, say, about 7 inches from the bottom, and we got a board in here. I'm actually going to end up about 6.5 from the center. Say you want to go with an 1.5 inch hole. We're going to try to hit the middle pretty close here. We're about there center. So we're going to go right about here with an 1.5 inch paddle bit. Now we got our hole in there, and you can see with this rough sawn it's perfect because the birds can grip it a lot better and get in and out easier, so should work out really good. Now we're going to put our top on about like this. We'll just eyeball it. We could measure it, but that's too much work, so we're just going to eyeball it. We'll put a little more overhang in the front to kind of protect the hole going in, help keep wind and rain from blowing into it. Right about there is going to be pretty close. Alright, there we go. Now a lot of times you put a hinge, something or other on the top, but I don't have any hinges, so I'll take these screws out later probably so that we could open it up and check on any nests are in there, and so we could clean it out, that kind of thing. But for now, we're just going to have it all screwed together. We can always take the bottom out or the top or the whole thing apart. We got some air gaps in here, so I'm not too worried about doing any ventilation, but I am going to drill an extra couple little holes down here in the bottom just in case it gets any water in it, so it can have a spot to drain. It shouldn't get much, but a couple little holes just in case. There we go. Now we just need to find a spot to put it. Welcome back, guys. Mishap Mike here. Today I'm out here at Big Piney Creek. So you can see there's plenty of water because we've had a lot of rain recently. there's hundreds of miles of beautiful creeks here in Arkansas. This is just one of them. There's also the Buffalo National River, the Mulberry, Cadron Creek. They're everywhere. Today, I got my beautiful wife and we got some kayaks and we're gonna go hit the creek. I'm excited. Let's do this. Oh no, a tree! Whew, I tell you what, nothing will make you feel powerless like the power of waves in a creek or strong wind on a lake blowing you around in a boat. It reminds me of a story from the Bible. Back in the day, Jesus was out on a boat with his disciples, and Jesus was asleep. And his disciples, they were getting really scared because there was this really strong storm, and the boat was blowing around, the wind was blowing, the waves were crashing over, and they thought they were going to drown. They thought they were going to sink and drown. But Jesus, he woke up and he spoke to the storm and he calmed the waves and became completely calm and still. That's the power of our God. So I know that when I feel powerless, even with a roaring creek, I can still trust Jesus. Well, I tell you what, it can be a wild adventure obeying God, but in a wild world, we can trust Jesus. Okay, so now the question is, where do we put it? And the kids want to know if we're going to put it in a tree. We're not going to put it on a tree, and the reason for that is, if you have a tree, it's more likely for predators to get into it, because predators can climb trees easier. So we're going to get a post, we're going to bury a post, and we're going to put it right on the top of a post. Predators may still get to it, but it'll be a little bit harder than if we just put it on a tree. Like snakes can go up trees a little bit easier than they can go up just a regular post. So we're going to get a post, we're going to bury it. We're also going to put it, generally speaking, it's best to point it towards the east or the southeast, and that's just to help protect it from wind and rain blowing into it. So we'll probably put it over here along this wood line somewhere, and we'll just bury a post, do it out from the woods a little bit. Now bluebirds aren't going to be in this probably till next spring, so it's going to be a little while before we see any bluebirds, but hopefully we will at some point in the future. All right, y'all better go find a shovel so you can dig a hole. Go over here to our used post pile and see what we got. We'll use one of these. That one's bolted on, but that one would be about right. Look out. Let's see, this one, we can probably get about 4 feet off the ground with this one, and that'll be sufficient. They say about 4 to 6 feet is about how high you want to be off the ground, so this little old post ought to do just about right. Looks like it's about 5 feet tall. We'll just dig a nice little hole straight down pretty much. We need to go down about a foot, unless we hit a big rock. Then we're going to have to dig up the big rock and get it out of the way. All right, we got the post in. It's only in about 8 or 10 inches, and then we hit solid rock across the bottom of the hole. So that's not too surprising around here, but just as long as nobody's climbing on it or anything, it should be fine. Guess if the kids get too rowdy and knock it over, we'll have to dig a new hole and move it or something. But I think it'll work, just as long as we don't run into it with anything. Scoot over, your head's right in the camera. We're gonna take this board and fasten it on top. This thing is a crooked post. Let's turn this board this way. We might be able to straighten it out a little bit. We'll do this and then we'll be able to screw up into the box from this. There we go. Be a little crooked, that'll be all right. Well, it's nothing fancy and it's a little crooked, and if I hit it with the lawnmower it's going to knock it over and I'll have to redo it and put it in concrete or something, but I think it'll work. See if the birds like it in the spring. Well guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you next time. I'm gonna go hit the road on my speedy little dirt bike here.